What is the true face of evil? Is it a snarling monster, a shadowy stranger in the night? Or can it be the girl next door? A 12-year-old with straight-A grades and a smile that could light up a room. This is a story that begins not with a monster, but with a secret. A digital life hidden from view in the dark corners of the early internet. A story that asks a terrifying question. Can a child be so manipulated, so twisted, that they become the architect of their own family's destruction? Welcome to Life in Frame. The case we're examining today, it's one that still haunts me. The details are so disturbing they redefined crime in Canada. And the reason why? Well, you're about to find out. Our story is set in Medicine Hat, Alberta, a place known for its sunny skies and tight-knit community. It was here that the Richardson family had built their life. Mark and Deborah weren't without their struggles. They had met in a gym class for recovering addicts and had fought hard to build a stable, sober life for their 2 children, Jasmine and her younger brother, Tyler. They were the picture of a family that had overcome its demons. But in 2006, a new demon was lurking, and it was hiding in plain sight on a computer screen. As Jasmine Richardson entered her teenage years, a change began. The bubbly, church-going girl began crafting a new identity online. On platforms like MySpace and a niche, now-defunct site called VampireFreaks.com, she wasn't Jasmine. She was Runaway Devil, Killer Kitty, Ex-Mayhem X. Her profiles were a gallery of dark eyeliner, fake guns, and interests listed as serial killers, Wicca, and the music of Marilyn Manson. It was on this digital playground that she met Jeremy Steinke, a 23-year-old high school dropout living in a trailer park. Steinke was a figure straight out of a gothic nightmare. He claimed to be a 300-year-old werewolf. He wore a vial of blood around his neck and spoke of liking its taste. His own life was a trail of abuse and neglect, having been beaten by his mother's string of alcoholic boyfriends. He was, by any measure, a predator, and he preyed on vulnerable young girls online. Jasmine told him she was 15. He didn't care. He preferred them young, easier to control. Their relationship escalated with terrifying speed. Their online messages were a cesspool of violent, twisted poetry and fantasies. Jeremy wrote verses about slitting the throats of her parents. They shall pay for their insolence. Their blood shall be payment. And in a message that would later be entered as evidence, Jasmine wrote to him, I have this plan. It begins with me killing them and ends with me living with you. This wasn't just teenage rebellion. There were real-world warning signs. Jasmine had once strangled her brother Tyler, who had confided in a family friend that he was genuinely afraid of his own sister. Her parents, discovering the relationship with a 23-year-old man, did what any parent would do. They grounded her, cut off her internet access, and forbade her from seeing him. They were trying to save her. But in the twisted narrative Jeremy had built, they were the villains keeping 2 star-crossed, monstrous lovers apart. On the night of April 22, 2006, the fantasy became a brutal, bloody reality. Jasmine opened the basement window. Jeremy Steinke, wearing a mask, climbed in. He found Deborah doing laundry and attacked her, stabbing her 12 times. Mark, hearing the screams, ran to help and was met with the same fate, stabbed 24 times in a desperate struggle. As he lay dying, he managed to ask one word. Why? Jeremy's response was chilling. Because your daughter wanted it that way. While this horror unfolded in the basement, Jasmine went upstairs to her 8-year-old brother's bedroom. The exact details of Tyler's murder are contested. Jasmine claimed Jeremy encouraged her and she only stabbed him weekly once, but the autopsy showed 5 stab wounds and a severed jugular vein. The image of this little boy, murdered in his bed surrounded by his stuffed animals, is perhaps the most heartbreaking detail of this entire case. Then, the unthinkable. Jasmine didn't call for help. She didn't break down. She called a cab, met up with Jeremy, and they fled. For the next 24 hours they acted like nothing was wrong. They were seen at a house party, canoodling, laughing, and even bragging about the killings to friends, who dismissed it as a sick joke. They were helped by a 19-year-old acquaintance, Casey Lancaster, who drove them and would later be convicted as an accessory. Their arrest the next day was just the beginning of a long legal and moral nightmare. Jeremy Steinke, the adult, was tried and convicted of first-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years, but Jasmine's case sent shockwaves through the Canadian justice system. At 12, she was the youngest person in the country to ever be convicted of multiple counts of first-degree murder. Psychological assessments revealed she had conduct disorder and oppositional defiant disorder. But due to her age and the Youth Criminal Justice Act, the focus was on rehabilitation, not punishment. She was sentenced to the maximum, 10 years, a blend of intensive psychiatric custody and supervised release. Her journey through the system was controversial. From jail, she and Jeremy exchanged letters where he proposed marriage and she accepted. But over years of therapy and separation from him, psychologists reported a remarkable transformation. At her final sentencing review, the judge told her, "I think your parents would be rather proud of you." A statement that, while likely meant to encourage her, sparked outrage among those who felt it minimized the horror of her crimes. She was released in 2016 with a completely new identity, her record sealed. She is free, while the community of Medicine Hat forever bears the scar. This case leaves us with nothing but difficult, uncomfortable questions. Was Jasmine a born monster? Or was she a vulnerable child, sculpted into a weapon by a master manipulator? Can the justice system truly balance the need for public safety with the potential for a child's redemption? Is 10 years ever enough for 3 lives? There are no easy answers, only a profound and lingering sense of unease, a dark frame around a picture that can never be fully understood. Here at Life in Frame, we bring you these stories not for shock, but for reflection. We spend countless hours researching, piecing together these complex and painful narratives. It's a difficult but important task, and if these stories make you think and feel, then your support means everything to us. Help us keep exploring these difficult frames. Please hit that subscribe button so you never miss a story. And we need to hear from you. This case divides opinion like few others. What is your verdict? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Can a child who commits the ultimate evil ever be truly reformed? Was justice truly served? Thank you for listening. Until next time, please look after each other and